Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting of May 1st, 2024. Grimsby is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendourong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara and the town of Grimsby stand with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the land on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Seeing none, can I get a mover and seconder? Oh, before we begin, before we approve the agenda, we have a delegation request from the applicant for 129 South Service Road. Can I get a mover and seconder to add the delegation under item 6, delegations and presentations? Moved by member Drew, second by member Potter. Moved by member Drew, second by member Potter. Resolved that the delegation from Milan Vujazin on report BLDG 24-01 be added to the agenda under delegations presentations. All in favor? That's carried. All right, can I get a mover and seconder to approve the agenda? Moved by Councillor Frake, second by member Drew. Moved by Councillor Frake, second by member Drew. Resolved that the May 1st, 2024 Planning and Development meeting agenda be approved as amended. All in favor? That's carried. All right, we have receipt of previous minutes, Planning and Development Committee from March 27th, 2024, and Grimsby Heritage Advisory Committee, April 9th, 2024. Can I get a mover and seconder to approve or to receive the previous minutes? Moved by member Frake, second by member Drew. Questions?
Thanks, Matt. Just with regard to item 5.2, the Grimsby Heritage Advisory Committee, just seeking clarification from the clerk's office with regard to procedural clarifications, unless I'm wrong, in which I had to be told so. The Grimsby Heritage Advisory Committee reports through this committee. I've never seen anything where we've actually had to approve anything. It's just we approve the minutes of the committee. And if I look at this particular set of meeting minutes, the stuff is basically bypassing us and going straight to council. And I'm not sure procedurally whether that is in alignment with them as an advisory committee, whether compared to what our role is. And it seems like we're just being bypassed or a postbox, if you like. So I'm just seeking clarity on the procedural nature of that. And if I'm in error, happy to do so, but it just seems a bit weird.
Yeah. All right, member Potter, Jessica.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. So the way that it works is that the advisory committees report to the standing committees, which report to council. So it's actually receipt of their minutes. It's not approved. All minutes get approved at council. So the opportunity here from the Heritage Advisory Committee, from the Planning Committee, is an opportunity to discuss the minutes of that meeting. If there's anything from those minutes that you agree with or disagree with, you can lift from those meetings for discussion. So it is correct that the Heritage Advisory Committee reports to planning, but it all filters up through the standing committees to council. So there's no approval of their minutes at this committee. That happens at council.
Thank you for the clarification. With that learning, I think we all should make sure that we carry out our due diligence with the background information for those minutes, because I did actually look back at I think it was this Heritage meeting, maybe in the one in between, and it's 500 pages. Pretty task-oriented, but there's a lot of information in there, and it may get summed up in just 2 lines here. And so there's a lot of detail there that I think we need to make sure that we're aware of, and when we approve, when we accept the minutes, if we do need to comment on it, we should do so.
Yes, I do agree, Member Potter, that is something that if we need to do our due diligence on all those pages, it is an onerous task, but Fortunately, Heritage is always willing to answer any questions, and Bianca's good at that, so thank you, Bianca. All right, moved by Member Frake, second by Member Drew. Resolved that the following minutes be received. Planning and Development Committee, March 27th, 2024. Grimsby Heritage Advisory Committee, April 9th, 2024. All in favor? That's carried. And now we have Mr. Milan Vujazin. Milan, can you come up and take the podium? Thank you.
Hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Milan Vujesin. I'm going to be real estate agent for Mr. Vaka working on a project on South Service Road. And I requested minor variances for bigger visibility and probably to sell that property faster and better. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can I get a mover and seconder to receive the delegation? Moved by Member Potter, second by Member Drew. Moved by Member Potter, second by Member Drew. Resolved that the delegation from Milan Vujazin be received. All in favor? That's carried. All right, we have discussion reports, BLDG 2401. Can I get a mover and seconder to get it on the floor? Moved by Member Drew, second by Councillor Frake. And Anthony, are you going to start us off? All right, welcome to the podium.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. I'm Anthony, Building Permit Tech in the Building Department. Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm here to present a sign variance for 129 South Service Road. So the sign variance request for the aforementioned property is to permit a sign larger than the maximum permitted sign area of 215 square feet. The proposed sign has an area of 256 square feet, exceeding the maximum permitted sign area for a pole sign by about 41 square feet. The increased sign area is to allow for increased advertising visibility from the adjacent road on Service Road. The sign proposal is within the MTO corridor and has obtained an MTO permit dated October 26, 2023. It has been provided as an appendix item for reference. Building staff has found no adverse impacts with the proposal and believe the intent of the sign bylaw is maintained. Consequently, we have no objections to the approval of this requested variance. Myself and Paul, the Chief Building Official, are available for any questions if needed. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Anthony. Questions or comments from the committee? Member Potter.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of questions. The nature of the sign is a for sale sign. Is within the bylaws and within this approval, is there any need to put a time frame on that? Because it's basically a temporary sign. Is that required, or is it just a sign's a sign, no matter what the time length is that it may or may not be up there?
Yes. So in the sign bylaw for real estate signs, I don't believe there is a timeline. However, on the MTO permit, there is a requirement to either renew it or take the sign down within a certain time frame.
Okay. The follow-up to that is that time frame sufficient? I know the delegation just mentioned about, as quick as possible to sell it, and we all help that, but reality strikes sometimes, and that doesn't happen. So is there anything we need to do, or is it just within the MTO rights to do that?
Well, the condition of the MTO sign permit states that the sign within 2 years has to be either renewed or taken down. If it isn't, then the assumption is the MTO will take enforcement.
Okay, you just addressed it with the 2 years. If it's not sold in 2 years, that's... The other thing for me, I don't know, again, within the details of the bylaw, many of the signs that I see around town for this nature of thing, not this size, are what I would call just, they're heavy plinth on the surface. That this looks like, well, the design is actually dug into the ground. It's concrete foundation in all the location points. Is that viable there? because of, I mean, I'm sure they'll do locates and all that sort of thing, but is there any guidelines within the bylaw with regard to surface mounted as opposed to structurally embedded?
So due to the height of this sign, the bylaw does actually have a provision for construction requirements. In this case, because it's over a certain height, we ask that the foundation and the framing details is all stamped by an engineer and reviewed by us prior to issuing the sign permit.
Thank you very much. That's conclusion.
All right, seeing no further questions, moved by Member Drew, second by Councillor Frake. Resolved that report BLDG 24-01, 129 South Service Road sign bylaw variance dated May 1st, 2024 be received, and that the Planning and Development Committee recommend council direct staff to grant a permit to Miljan Bujazin in accordance with the regulations of the Town of Grimsby sign bylaw, and the sign permit variance allows for a 256 square foot pole sign. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Up next, we have correspondence from the Niagara Region Development Applications Monitoring Report 2023 year end, Niagara Region Regional Archaeological Management Plan, and Niagara Region motion respecting federal infrastructure investment. Can I have a mover and seconder to receive the correspondence? Moved by Member Potter, second by Member Drew. Any questions or comments on the correspondence? Seeing none, moved by Member Potter, second by Member Drew. Resolved that the following correspondence be received. Niagara Region Development Applications Monitoring Report 2023 year end, Niagara Region Regional Archaeological Management Plan, Niagara Region motion respecting federal infrastructure investment. All in favor? That's carried. Is there any other business pertaining to the committee? Seeing none, the next Planning and Development Committee meeting is scheduled for May 29th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Meeting is adjourned. Good evening, everyone. Not quite my record, but 4 minutes off.